All right, everybody, we're coming back from the break. It's called the Business to Business Network Show. My name is Rex Perry. I'm the host and creator of the show, and if you've just turned on your radio and never heard us before, we have an hour-long show, and we do different interviews with different business people, different subjects had to do with business, politics, and economics. And our next guest is Gerald. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name's Gerald Lynn, author of Surviving the U.S. Healthcare System.
And kind of introduce how you got into this. Tell us a little bit of the backstory.
Well, recently retired, 27 years in the pharmaceutical industry. Worked and helped friends, relatives, etc. navigate their health problems. I usually know more than they do, and so they come to me and ask for my help and my advice. And 12 years this has been in the making, and I decided, hey, I need to write this. There's things people really need to know.
You've been on the inside of the medical, the hospitals, the doctors. Tell us some of the experiences and stories that you've heard. You recently were on a cruise.
I recently was on a cruise. I spoke with a veterinary oncologist. Knows medicine, right? Well, her dad died of cancer. She found out it waited till it got to his lower extremity, specifically his knee. Well, they started digging, and he'd gone to regular doctor's visits. Everybody said, you're okay. Well, they found that it started in his lungs. And that's how your body works. Your lymph system carries things throughout your body, so you never know where it started. But just having regular physicals, etc., if you don't speak up and enunciate, go tell your doctor, I've had these symptoms, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the care you need. The problem is time and attention. Doctors don't have enough time. There aren't enough of them, and you have better doctors and not so good doctors. So and insurance controls everything. The word referral, people don't realize sometimes it means your doctor has to prove to the insurance company that you need to go to a specialist. Well, in that interim time, I've heard that there have been some problems with people and possibly death because they wait too long. Doctor has to prove that you're sick. That is actually what happened in this case with my neighbor. Why he waited so long? Because his doctor had to get the test results and then prove to the insurance company, oh, yeah, he needs to go to a cardiologist. So that's how the system works. Unfortunately, insurance is insurance.
And that inspired you to write the book. Tell us the name of the book, how to find the book again.
Surviving the U.S. Healthcare System. It's available on Barnes & Noble. It's available on Amazon. I'm actually going to start carrying it on my own website. That's authorgeraldlynn.com. So there's many ways to get it. Actually, Hudson News, I just found out, has it on their site. They may have it in the airport soon, I'm hoping.
And spell Gerald Lynn. Make sure that people can find that website. Spell it out for us.
Well, the website is Author, A-U-T-H-O-R, Gerald, G-E-R-A-L-D, Lynn, L-Y-N-N.com. It'll also give you some snippets of the book. There's some video on there to introduce it, etc., testimonial here and there, and it gives a background of me.
Yeah, and the key here is to get educated on what to do, how to do it. Give us some hints. Coach us. Let's say somebody is out there and they've got prostate cancer, which is very common, men over 65. Give us a little bit of coaching on what should be done. What kind of things should patients
preventative?
Yeah.
Well, okay, preventative is see when you can get in to see your urologist on a regular basis. I found myself, we'll get you an appointment for your follow-up. When is that? Oh, next year.
Yeah.
So you deal with physician's assistants and nurse practitioners. What I will give you, make sure that you have a physician's assistant at the urologist that actually has been around for a while. I'd say they need to be in their 50s. That way they've seen things, and that's the problem. Nurse practitioners and physician's assistants are filling in where doctors are not present because we don't have enough of them, and a lot of them do not have the experience, and that's another thing too. So they don't know what to recognize. Now, if you're talking about prostate cancer, it's going to start. People are going to realize, men, I am in that age group. I'm going to be 65 in January. Your urination starts to slow down. You start to see some dysfunction. You don't wake up like you used to wake up in the morning with an erection. Those are the types of things that go, hey, maybe something's going on. Maybe I need to get it checked out. But as far as the actual prostate cancer, it's hard to detect, but you have to go regularly to when you get these symptoms and go, something's going on here, guys.
And they have you get a blood test now. And sometimes in these blood tests, they're able to get the little red flags, and then you can get the focus going. Any coaching on getting the right, because if they don't test for the right thing, you don't get it.
Well, that's called your PSA.
Yeah.
When you have normal blood work, from your regular doctor, they're going to test your PSA and see if it varies, and that's an indicator of things. But the symptoms need to come out, like I just described in that particular instance. And this is, young people need to be aware of things that are going on. But the problem is, okay, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
There's a famous actor, William Hurt. I think he was in, some very famous movie. Body Heat was one of his.
Yep.
And I can't remember he's been in so many
movies, yeah.
He actually had prostate cancer before he was 65. Nobody knew it, and he ended up passing away. He was in his 70s. You would think somebody that wealthy, that smart, but he's probably super busy and wasn't even thinking about it. And just, you can imagine how busy people get. And then all of a sudden, surprise, which is not a good surprise. And that's what your book is basically trying to educate people, coach them.
This is, in particular with older folks, you're just getting old.
Yeah.
And that would have been there. But like I said, the book addresses, I just had a friend that told me he read the book and he said, my son needs to read this book because he's going off of our insurance and needs to know how the system works. That's the whole front half of the book. So it's that, and then it's how many people get cancer in the young age?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
How many people get other diseases? Heck, my dentist had to get a surgery. Luckily, he knows how to do how the protocol works. He tore up his shoulder changing a tire.
Oh,
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Three tears in his rotator, and he dislocated his shoulder, which his son helped him put back in because he didn't want to go to the ER. But this is where I'm telling you need to push and advocate. Okay, when can you see the surgeon? Oh, it's going to take you a month to get a consult. I can't work. I have to work. One thing he did, normally people won't do. He went down to the office and he knew what to ask for. I need a consult. It'll take you 10 minutes, and I need an order for an MRI to get this checked out before you can do any surgery. Oh, well, you can do that in 3 weeks. Well, he also asked, is there another doctor I can see in the office? How many people do that? You've been told to see Dr. So-and-so. Well, he found one, and they got him in. And the main thing you have to think of is the office staff. The office staff is conditioned to tell you certain things. If you don't ask a question, okay, can I see somebody else? You're going to just walk away and be hurt for how many weeks? And then he had to get surgery. He talked his way into getting a cancellation the next week instead of, once again, having to wait 3 to 4 weeks because he made his case to someone that cared. But that's what I have to give everyone for every walk of life. The office staff are trying to do their best job, but they're overwhelmed. And the appointment book is the appointment book, but the severity of what you need, an instance, I can't work, versus an elective surgery where this has been bothering me for years and they can go along. So maybe it's even a triage situation where they need to do a better job, but access to the system, making it urgent. If it is truly urgent, to get someone to wake up and recognize something needs to be done.
And that's the key. You buy the book, and this coaches you and educates you and helps you go, aha, I need an advocate. I need to quit going there on my own. I need somebody to help me make sure that I don't miss something or didn't ask the right question. When they do these blood tests, if you don't name some of the things that they need to be testing for, they don't test for it, and so you never know. So this is what you're trying to say.
Right. You have to have someone come with you if you have someone that knows medicine. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are alone. This educates you on what you can do for yourself. Here's something people probably don't know about. If you get your blood work done at a major laboratory like a LabCorp or SonoraQuest, you can actually get online in the patient portal and see your results within a few days.
Right.
Possibly before your doctor has to take a chance to look at them. Now, you have to know how to interpret them, but at least you can look for, this is what we were looking for. My A1C is 8.
Yeah.
We need to do something about this. So people need to educate themselves. My book is a navigator. That's what it is. It says, okay, this is what you're going to see. Drugs especially, because that was my specialty, on the differences between not necessarily the drugs themselves, but generics versus brand versus other generics that are not the same. The whole process. And then, of course, how to work with the insurance companies who, in my opinion, are one of the big problems. They're the ones that deny your care or deny your tests, or it depends on how much you paid for it.
You know what's interesting? I was watching a documentary about the history of our health system and how we ended up with this. And after World War II, under the Truman administration, Truman actually said, we need to have a national health system. And the companies like General Motors, who were all the big suppliers of the military hardware, were now all switching over to building cars, right? And building other stuff. And it was a boom in the 1950s and 60s. And they said the way we want to retain our people is we want to offer them health care so that if they ever leave us, they will lose their health care. And it was a total sham, a big mistake, and now we seem to be stuck with this system.
People are handcuffed to jobs that they hate.
Yeah, because of the health care.
They can't get their health care. And then when you leave, I happen to be in that position. I got laid off in March. I'm paying COBRA. That's three times the amount of what I was paying. I am going on Medicare in January.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah, but it's people do realize how much it costs. I get a story every time I mention my book. Sometimes it's insurance. Sometimes I got a guy at the bank. He's 28 years old. He wants to get some testing done and stuff. But since he's a very poor plan, well, no, you can't have that. Insurance company says if you want to do it, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, and that's the key, is being educated, getting a chance. And that's why you wrote the book again. Yes. How can people get the book?
Get it on Amazon. You can get it through Barnes & Noble. Once again, authorgeraldlynn.com. Easy way to get it, any way you can think of that way. But yeah, it's everybody who's read it, it's like, yeah, straight on.
And the key is education. That's one of the goals of this radio show, is to introduce different ideas, present business, politics, and economics, and show how this affects us. And the medical industry is such an economic nightmare, but it's the way we've got integrated here. I remember way back in the 1980s, down at the 60 freeway in Dobson, there's a big Banner Hospital. And
I was here then.
Back in the 80s, and they were trying to do, because they're considered a not-for-profit. Now, that's not a non-profit, but it's not-for-profit. And yet the CEO's got his own private Learjet, and we're all paying these premiums, and we're trying to get care. And what is going on? Because you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a for-profit thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, many companies that you think are nonprofit are like that. You know, you've heard of Hospice of the Valley.
Yeah.
They're not nonprofit. The money goes to the people at the top, just like you described. Same situation.
And by the way, that's interesting, because that's actually government. That's our tax dollars, because basically what happens is the end-of-life care, and they somehow were able to lobby to get the government, basically through Social Security, to pay for that.
Well,
or
it's a was it a 503c, I believe, and that's what you sign up for, and you have. But the system costs what it costs because of insurance. It really think about it. You go to the hospital. I went in because I was short of breath and I couldn't get on nauseous. Down at a local hospital in my town. Well, I got a $25,000 bill. They billed the wrong insurance. As soon as they billed my insurance, the bill went away.
Yeah. That's it. Again, you got to have this book.
Yes.
Get educated. How do they get the book?
You want to get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, authorgeraldlynn.com. It's even available through Hudson News, the guys in the airport, on their website.
You spell your name, Gerald?
Gerald, GeraldLynn.
And the name of the book?
Surviving the U.S. Healthcare System. Look me up online. I'm there.
Surviving the U.S. Healthcare System. Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Gerald, thank you so much for being part of the show. We want to get the word out. You've been great. We got to wrap up the show. It's the end of the segment here, because guess what? We talk business, politics, and economics every week. If you miss something, go to 123bz.com. Reach out to me. I'll put you in contact. 123B as in business, Z as in zebra.com. Great. Go out and have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.